Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
So did you see them? Marijuana protesters took to the streets in downtown Portland yesterday for the Global Cannabis March. But this year's demonstration a bit different from years past because it came just one day after all those May Day protests in the same spot. K2's Corey Marshall has the story.
Good morning, Matt. The message, they say, is twofold. There's that voter victory to celebrate from back in November, but they say there's also some fine-tuning that needs to be done when it comes to regulation. About a year and a half ago, doctors gave Janice Patton an ultimatum.
You know, continue without the medicine, you're not going to make it. Eventually you'll have a seizure and die. Or you can have the brain surgery.
The mother and grandmother has intracranial hypertension. It's a condition where the body doesn't absorb spinal fluid properly, causing it to build up in her brain. They searched for a third option, a last chance, if you will, and came across Michaela's website. The Cyber Journal shared the journey of then 7-year-old Michaela, who had leukemia, was going through chemo treatments and taking cannabis oil to offset side effects. Patton started taking cannabis oil, and today, she says, hasn't had any seizures or hospitalizations since.
My doctor told me in February I'm in remission from this illness.
So on a sunny Saturday in Pioneer Courthouse Square, Patton and, as she calls her, brave Michaela, have united, sharing their stories alongside dozens of other cannabis supporters. It's part of the 16th annual Global Cannabis March.
Celebration and determination, I would say.
The celebration part, they say, is simple. It's been about 6 months since voters made recreational marijuana legal. The determination part is a little more complicated. 2 proposed bills sit in the Oregon legislature that would place regulations on medical marijuana growers, limiting the number of plants they can grow.
This is what the majority of Oregon voted to legalize, and we're still here fighting for it. We're not going to go anywhere.
So it's a scary thing for me. This is life or death for me. I have a 9-year-old daughter. I have grandkids. I want to see those. I want to be here for them.
Now, organizers say Portland is one of 300 cities worldwide to participate in the Global Cannabis March. In downtown Portland, Corey Marshall, K2 News.
Hi, my name is Brave Michaela, and I kicked cancer's butt. With the help of cannabis oil, I have finished treatments 6 months ago. Thank you all for the love and support. Peace, love, cure.
Hi, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Erin Purchase, and I am Michaela's mom. I am also a cannabis activist. I've been an activist long before she got cancer. That's how I knew to give her cannabis oil 10 days after she was diagnosed. I think it's important that all patients get this oil right when they are diagnosed, because she never even lost a single pound going through chemotherapy, never had to take a Tylenol, and had a smile on her face every day. I think it's important that every child and adult have that right. And in order to do that, we have to get our doctors on board. And in order to do that, we need to change the law at a federal level. Congratulations, Oregon, for legalizing at a state level. That's great. If we can get more states to do that, maybe we can overturn federal law. It is very, very, very important to my family that we overturn this federal law, and research has begun. Michaela has a very rare form of acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It has a low survival rate, 75%. I didn't have to worry about that because I had cannabis oil. Most families don't have that, and they have a lot of anxiety as they're going through treatments. Not only do they have a lot of anxiety, they're dealing with a child who's suffering with a feeding tube in their nose, and they have to stay in the hospital sometimes over a year. We had 14 days in a hospital, and the only reason my daughter ever had to stay in the hospital was because they forced me to give her drugs that put her there. She had 2 allergic reactions. One of them almost killed her because of their medicine that she did not need. In order to prove that she did not need it, we have to change the federal law. Also, at a county level and a local level, you are all very important because Oregon has legalized cannabis, but they have also imposed a lot of regulations that affect patients like Michaela. They have limited our medical marijuana grows now inside city limits to 12 plants. That's 2 patients. We went from being able to grow from 4 patients to 2. They have not passed that bill yet, but they're very close to passing it. Come to Salem. We're there Mondays and Wednesdays right now at 5 p.m. We need your help. We need your support. We need you to tell them we don't want to change things like this. Another thing you can do is go to your county and city commissioner meetings. I've been to Clackamas County commissioner meetings every single month, and I'll tell you what, as you guys are rushing out finding warehouses, they're imposing regulations to zone you out. Get to your county commissioner meeting. Stop looking for a warehouse. Stop looking for commercial property and get to your legislators and your representatives and start talking to them about what you want to do. Not only what you want to do for the marijuana industry, but what you want to do for our community. Because if you don't support your community, they're not going to support you. Amen. Please support your community. Get out there. Make a difference. Present yourself appropriately and support this plant, and let's get somewhere, because I don't want kids to suffer, and I just proved that they don't have to. She's done. She's in remission. She's alive. More people need to know this. More doctors need to support this. More politicians need to be on our side. Let's support the other industries, the other movements, the other civil rights movements. It will help our industry make it further. I want to say thank you so much to Stony Girl Gardens. I'm now working with them. They're giving me the opportunity to speak on your behalf. They also made the oil that saved my daughter's life. And for that, I can't thank them enough. So thank you, Jen and Mike Mullins, Jennifer Valley and Mike Mullins, and Stony Girl Gardens. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Happy Global Cannabis March. Yay! I've been so excited for this day because the organizers of this event were so well prepared that I got invited to speak the day after New Year's Day. And I was so excited that we were planning for Global Cannabis March back then. So thank you. I was really, really excited for that. And, you know, I'm really excited that marijuana is legal in Oregon and that 12,000 people won't go to jail this year for cannabis. Yay! So, as we are working toward implementing that law, we've come across some problems, and that the Measure 91 committee decided that Measure 91 was a good first draft and they want to do something different. And so we've had a time of coming together and really communicating what our community needs, because the Measure 91 committee did not follow what Measure 91 said. Measure 91 said that OMA should remain untouched. It said it 3 different times. But because it wasn't a constitutional amendment, put the sign down, buddy. Because it wasn't a constitutional amendment, they changed it. They took it as a good first draft, and they're doing what they want. So right now, tomorrow, Monday, SB 844 is going to be adopted. There's some discussion if it's already been adopted or if it's not adopted. I think that it's pretty as close to adopted as it's going to be until they actually take care of it. And then they've got -7 amendments too, so they're trying to alter it sentence by sentence, literally. Like it's literally sentence by sentence, change this word, adopt this thing. But what they've done is they've messed up our grows, you guys. They messed up our possession limit for our plants. And so that's a really big deal, because now a bunch of patients that were going to have medicine from their growers cannot give them that medicine for free because they're not going to have a surplus of medicine to be able to give away for free. And there won't be as many growers able to help as many of these patients out. They've put on some pretty strict reporting requirements, and they've put in some things like inspections for grows. If you designate somebody else to grow for you, then that person would be subject to inspection. There's a lot of things like that that are very alarming in this legislation. And so what I would invite all of you to do is to read it. Get involved. Show up in Salem. On Mondays and Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, the Measure 91 committee meets, and they have done a really good job about listening to what we have to say. They recently called themselves a monkey with a gun. You guys, they called themselves a monkey with a gun over our program. We know what we need. So we need everybody here to show up and tell them what we need. Now, after they're done with this 844 amendment, or the SB 844 and the amendments that go with it, they're actually going to turn toward Measure 91. In Measure 91, they're going to be looking at re-taxing, and the taxing structures that were laid in place are going to be gone. They're going to look at implementing moratorium, and they're going to look at implementing moratorium without putting it to a vote. There are some things that they are not allowed to do in Measure 91, but because it's a legislative session, they're going to be allowed to do what they want. And so it's really up to us. We're the ones that voted it through. We're the ones that wanted it. We're the ones that have been screaming out to be regulated. Now we have to hold them accountable in this process. We have to show up. We have to tell them what we think about what they're doing to our grow limits. We have to show up and tell them what we think about taxing our medicine or taxing recreational cannabis. We have to show up and hold these people accountable, because if you think they know what they're doing, I want to remind you again, he called, there was a member of the committee that sat there and said, we are monkeys with a gun. They're monkeys with a gun, you guys. They do not know what they're doing. If you saw a monkey with a gun running through this plaza right now, what would you do? You would try to disarm the monkey and you would run. You would not just leave the baby unattended with the monkey with the gun. So we have a baby, which is our program, which is Measure 91, and we have a committee that's monkeys with a gun. So what I need everybody to do is come babysit the monkeys. They all have our baby, and we all have to babysit the babysitters, the monkeys with the gun. I need everybody to show up in Salem Mondays and Wednesdays. This whole next month, they're going into the last bit of the session. They're tired. They're tired. You can visibly see that they're tired. We have definitely made an impact. We need to make sure that we're there the whole rest of the session, because last time everybody got tired, we wound up with moratorium all over the state. 126 counties, 36 cities, because people didn't feel like going to Salem. Well, if you didn't enjoy not having access to your medicine for the last year, or you lost your job because of moratorium, maybe we should all just show up and make sure that despite our tiredness, we hold these people accountable. So please come to Salem, submit emails, make phone calls, be loud. This is the time that they're listening. And read the information. There's the Oregon Legislative Information System. You can go on there, you can look up all of the legislation, you can read it for yourself, you can form your own opinions. There's no reason to be underinformed in this community. Not one. Please be responsible and read the stuff that pertains to you. There's 40 pieces of legislation right now that pertain to you. So we all need to read them. We all need to show up. We need to hold them accountable. Please defend the OMA. Please. Please defend your plant limits. 12 plants in a residential area is only 2 people growing in one place. That's not enough space. It's not enough. We won't have enough medicine. And then if they want to have the medical program stimulate the recreational program until after outdoor harvest is done, I really see a problem with shortages. So you guys, please show up in Salem. Tell them what you think about what they're doing. Give your thoughts and your opinions, and then call them back up and ask them what they thought. Hold them accountable. Make sure they understand what you're telling them. And any changes that you have to the legislation, Representative Buckley has been very, very clear that if you're going to give your thoughts and opinions on the legislation, he and the other members very much appreciate it if you're very specific on the line item and that you're talking about, because then they can address it more promptly. So yes, please show up in Salem. Please hold them accountable. And come to One Draw 2. They're good people. Get free hash. Thank you, guys.
We like train wrecks, Northern Lights. We like Shrek 2, sour diesel. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good for you and me. So good. So good. So good. So good. We like God, but purple haze. We like cheese too, Cinderella. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good for you and me. So good. So good. So good. So good. It don't matter which you like. Don't matter when you do it. Just matters that you do it right. And get down to it. So good. So good. So good. We like train wrecks, northern lights. We like Shrek too, sour diesel. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good for you and me. So good. So good. So good. So good.
I am the vice president of a civil rights group called the Human Solution International. We are a group that believes that nobody should go to jail or die for our plant. So today I brought with you guys some of my members from Washington. We've got Tony here and Adam. And all together around the nation, internationally, we are working to end Prohibition 2014 by delivering support right to the front lines of where this war is affecting us the most, regarding our defendants and our prisoners. Right now in the United States of America, while we call it legal in all these states, we still have over 50 people serving life sentences for marijuana, and they will never get out. We also have defendants right here in Oregon facing time, jail time, prison time. We have 2 chapters now in Oregon. So I'm going to invite you guys to get involved. I'm going to invite you guys to please come out to the courtrooms when we have hearings, when people are at risk of going to jail. I'm going to invite you guys to know that we have people right here in your state that are in jail for marijuana. One being my dad's business partner, Chris Williams. Okay, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Kristen Floor, and I am the vice president of the Human Solution International. Because my father, he died a couple years ago, a very tormenting and nasty, nasty, nasty death in federal custody, shackled to a hospital bed because our plant is still federally illegal. So while we celebrate all these laws, we have a nasty federal law that will shackle us and put us in prison for the rest of our lives just by following these laws because they contradict each other. When my dad died, he died with broken ribs, undiagnosed colon cancer, liver failure. All kinds of nasty things happened to him, why they kept my mom in prison as well. And all they did is own a company and follow the state laws in Montana. His business partner right here, he went to trial. The jury didn't even know he was a caregiver, how many people he helped, because they don't allow state laws in federal court. My dad's other 2 business partners testified against him. So how are we going to end Prohibition 2015? Well, we are not going to snitch on each other. We're not going to cooperate with the government and give them our information. In fact, we're going to stand up for each other. We're going to go to the courtrooms. We're going to wear these ribbons that you see me wearing. That means that nobody deserves to go to jail for a plant. We're going to wear them in the courtroom so the judges, the prosecutors, and the jury sees them. We're going to know about our jury rights. That's your power to say not guilty. If you think a law is bad and you're a juror, you have a right not to only judge if the law has been broken, but to judge that law. And if you think it's a bad law, you can say not guilty and refuse to send somebody to jail for a victimless crime. That's something they won't teach you in schools that we have to teach each other. So we're going to end prohibition through 1, court support, 2, jury nullification and educating about it, and number 3, we're going to defend our prisoners. We're going to educate about our prisoners and let people know that they're working as slaves for the top 1% of our nation in private prisons, and they are killing them if they can't work for them, and they're paying them less than 15, 20 cents an hour. So I'm going to urge you guys to get involved with the Human Solution. We just started a chapter in Kenya, Africa. We're very excited to be in prohibition on a national level. So please, go to our website, www.thsintl.org. Find out how you can help, volunteer, start a chapter, come to a couple chapter meetings. We have Becca and we have Mindy, and they started a chapter here, and they're meeting every month. You can come out and find out what's going on in your community. You can read the Oregon Leaf. Right now, the Human Solution delivers all the news from the front lines in a new magazine that's just been delivered all across your state in the Oregon Leaf. You can find out all the current news right there. You can go to the calendar on our website and find out what defendants in your area need your support, and you can show up. You can also, we have a chapter down in Southern Oregon. Joy Graves, who's one of our defendants, is also leading that chapter. So you can visit our website, see what's going on in Oregon, and other than that, know your jury rights. Also, I can also encourage you guys not to just come for our defendants, but you can actually join as members and be a card-carrying member. We have a man by the name of Mr. Tommy Chong that we all know very well, who is a card-carrying member of the Human Solution International. So I can encourage everybody tell everybody that nobody ever deserves to go to prison for our plant, and to pay attention and to help end the war right from the front lines. Thank you, you guys, and it's really nice to meet you, and I'm excited to be in Oregon. Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Hey, thanks for coming out for the march. We finally did it. We've got legal marijuana. Congratulations, and thank you for making it happen and staying at the fight for so long. You know, I've been saying a long time that cannabis prohibition has never really been about drugs. It's about control and money and power and the continued centralization of economic and political control. I truly believe that marijuana, the whole marijuana myth, was created to stop the use of biofuels and fiber. They made up that whole myth. And so finally, the truth is coming to light, but we're still experiencing blowback. We still have the legislature trying to shut down the medical marijuana program. They've been successful across the river in Washington with Senate Bill 5052, which Governor Inslee signed into law just last week. They have to stop that. I hope they can organize a referendum. They need 120,000 signatures in the next 75 days or so. Good luck to the folks behind that. Hopefully, we won't have to do a referendum here in Oregon. We have a few friends in the legislature, but we have to stay active with them as well and contact them and let them know what we don't like. It looks like the community's done a great job last week in reaching out and stopping some of the worst aspects of the -6 amendments to Senate Bill 844, but it's still working its way through there, and we got to keep an eye on it. Anyway, we're about to go on a march. I want to thank you guys for coming out here. It's another year. Is this the 16th year? 16 years it's been going on. So thanks again. Have a great march. It's been a great show. And help us restore hemp.
Greetings from Northeast Portland and from the Capitol and from Salem. Listen, I'm not going to talk long. I know you all have been here for a long day already. I just wanted to update you on what's going on in Salem right now. Now, as you probably know, it's a passage of 91 was just the beginning of a process. Laws don't spell out all the procedures required to make them work, and some of that's being hammered out by the Oregon Liquor Control Commission, as well as some of it in the legislature. In fact, yesterday, the OLCC put together a group of committees that are going to look at rules and licensing and quality and financing and extracts and infused items and growers. They're going to look at all those different issues. But I want to tell you, I'm not going to talk about those. I know that I was asked to speak because of a bill I introduced in the beginning of to start the process of cleaning up some of the effects of the so-called war on drugs. Unfortunately, that bill, 3372, probably isn't going to make it through the process this time. Fortunately, another bill will. Okay? It won't do everything I'd hope, but as Mick Jagger would have been talking about at the legislative process, he said you can't always get what you want. So what are we trying to do? Well, it's important to recognize the extreme criminalization of certain marijuana-related activities has done more harm to our communities than the drug itself ever could. Combined with Measure 11, it put a lot of people behind bars and gave a lot of people felony records for actions that will not be criminal in the future. A stint in prison is not the end of one's so-called debt to society. A felony record can follow you for the rest of your life, closing doors to housing and employment, disrupting families and dragging the whole community down. We should have learned that from the experience of alcohol prohibition in the 1920s and early 30s, but we had to run the experiment again, it seems. And now as we come to our senses and create a system in which cannabis is legal but regulated in the future, we also need to do something about the harm that's been done by the prohibition in the past. And that's why I introduced a bill to create a path to the expungement of records of nonviolent marijuana-related records. And the reduction of sentences for similar offenses for people who are still in custody or under supervision. This is a high priority for me to do something about this, because while I won't deny that crime affects our community, and I won't deny that incarceration sometimes is an appropriate response to criminal acts, I also believe that it has been used too often where it makes no sense at all, creating criminals out of people who are doing no harm. We need to fix that for the future and also reach back and fix what has happened in the past. Now, as I said, 3372 is not going to make it, but details matter a lot in the legislative process, and we just couldn't work out through the details in the time that we had. I understand, however, that there'll be another bill coming through the committee on implementing the Senate and House Committee on implementing Measure 91. In the Capitol, that's called the Joint Committee on Marijuana, just so that you know. Yes, it's a joke, and everyone seems to like it. Well, except for some of the folks here. I urge you to use the online Oregon Legislative Information System, OLIS. Look that up, O-L-I-S, to keep informed about what the committee is doing. And I hope you'll pay more attention to this, to more than this one issue, because I want you to make this issue your gateway issue for more involvement in our policy-making process. Our system works better when people watch and take part, and that means you. And I want to also just thank you for coming out and being so active in the campaign last year, and stay active. We need to have you continue to listen to what's going on, to watch, to talk with everyone. Know who your legislators are. Do you know who your legislators are? How many of you know who your legislators are? All right, if you don't, you need to look it up and find out who that is and go and talk with them. Let them know that you're out there, let them know that you're watching and that you want to have some things changed. As I said, I don't think my particular bill is going to make it through, but I believe we will get a bill that'll come through in some form that'll work, that'll certainly make things a little better for the folks who have been incarcerated, who have records, and who are presently incarcerated. Maybe we'll get some changes, and that'll only become because you decide to work for it. So thank you very much. Take care.
Johnny was a good boy, always went to church. Lucy was his girlfriend, loved her Mother Earth. Played together and sang together, everything was coming along. Until one day Lucy found and never won a bone. Just one hit, they were flying high. true more, baby, you can see it in his eyes. Johnny turned Lucy and he said, Johnny turned Lucy and he said, yeah, I never been trying this. I'm before in the syndicate bomb. I never been trying this. I'm before in the Johnny to Lucy said I'm not fucked up enough. Run the goodies market, baby, buy me some more stuff. Walking down the street, parties in hand. The new designer purse that she had fashioned in Japan. Lucy turned to Johnny and she said, Lucy turned to Johnny and she said, Johnny, now I've been right this. I'm before in the syndicate bomb.
That hemp man Eric Loitz has brought in to us. This is a 1942, April of 1942, United States Department of Agriculture photo of U.S. Army guarding the nation's main supply of hemp seed, stored temporarily in a tobacco warehouse in Lexington, Kentucky, a control point for the distribution of hemp seed to Kentucky farmers. Again, this is a United States Department of Agriculture picture from April of 1942, and right here is another picture also from April of 1942 showing the hemp seed bought by the governments packed in bags of various sizes for sale to Kentucky farmers so they could cultivate hemp. You see they've got a big wheelbarrow full of hemp seeds. They're scooping it up and putting it into bags that are going to farmers who are going to be cultivating industrial hemp. It should be noted that this is not the ultra low THC hemp that is currently approved by Canadian and European governments with less than 0.3%. This was native American hemp that probably had a THC level of between 1 and 3%. And so they were growing that for fiber. It's much more productive than the low THC hemp varieties that are allowed. Now I'm going to go over to a couple of items here. This is a box of hemp corn plasters from Seaberry. Seaberry was a predecessor to Johnson & Johnson. They became Seaberry & Johnson and then morphed into Johnson & Johnson. It's printed on the inside here, and it's from the 1870s. Right next to it, from the 1920s, is something from Johnson & Johnson. This was a salicylic acid or aspirin and cannabis plaster. And so this is a big plaster. You would put it on various skin ailments and use it to treat skin ailments. Right next to it, we have a couple of very unique bottles. This one is particularly unique. This is an experimental container from the United States DEA. Says the expiration date on this is July of 1982. This is from the late 70s. It was a test bottle of what became Marinol. And so this was during its experimental period before it was approved for sale as a prescription drug. Right next to it, we have one of the bottles that's used as from I think 2005, a modern bottle with a couple little Marinol pills in there. And this is now it's a Schedule III drug that is pretty expensive pharmaceutical substitute. It's synthetic THC suspended in sesame oil. And so it's little gel caps of THC with sesame oil. Right next to it, we have a 1915 bottle. It's a powdered extract of cannabis from Eli Lilly and Company. This was powdered hashish. And so Eli Lilly had a variety of cannabis products. You'll see this one says it's number 28. So they had about 10 different cannabis products. This one was powdered hashish. Right next to it, we have another Eli Lilly product, cannabis extract. This one is number 96, and this is also from 1910, and it's got a nifty instruction label on the back, and it has a picture of Eli Lilly's Indianapolis, Indiana facility on there. A lot of bubbles in this bottle. It's a very old bottle. Right next to it from Sharp and Dome, we have another cannabis extract, Sharp and Dome. This one is actually a full unopened bottle of mentholated cough balsam. It was for coughs, colds, spasmodic croup, bronchial cataracts, and other diseases of the air passages. And so it is chloroform, cannabis americana, and alcohol combined with menthol, ammonium chloride, and other things. And so it's the chloroform alone would probably knock you out, but there's some cannabis in there too. There is a full bottle that I am not going to try to extricate from this box because it's kind of stuck in there and I don't want to damage it. But it's another cannabis remedy, as you can see from the top. It's Bliss Native Balsam. Bliss Native Balsam. And it's also for coughs and colds from a Washington, D.C., Kansas City, and Montreal, Canada company. It contains grains of cannabis and other valuable ingredients for coughs, colds, and bronchitis. And both of these say they contains no morphine and no opiate or their derivatives, and is safe and non-addictive. And also from the Balsam Company, this was included in this nifty little pack, are samples of these cannabis pills. Little cannabis pills circa 1910. And so then right next to it is our Hemp Flame of Freedom. We have a hemp oil wick, and this is next week's wick. It just was cut off there tonight. And so we've got hemp seed oil powering this flame with a hemp wick, completely 100% hemp energy. That's the main reason that marijuana was criminalized. As our long-term viewers know, it's always been about the petrochemical industry. And so right next to it, we have another bottle, a very big bottle. We'll have to back up a bit. This is a tincture of cannabis bottle, a cobalt blue bottle that Eric Himpman Leutz has also brought in here, the guy who brought us these pictures tonight and other stuff. We're happy to continue working with him. Thank you, Eric, for bringing in this nifty new find of yours. Then, of course, we have a big hemp stalk to show the fiber that cannabis is capable of producing.
How y'all doing out there, Portland, Oregon? So let me start off by telling you a little bit about myself. I have muscular dystrophy. I was diagnosed at the age of 3, in my first electric chair by the age of 5. I was known as a pothead. People never understood that I needed certain things to make my days go. Well, when I learned that I wasn't a pothead, I was a medicator. I was free from the world. So, you know, we have women, children, men out there that are dying because they cannot get this plant. They cannot have free access to the meds they need. They are not able to get themselves out of bed. They are not able to maintain a family life because the government says we are wrong. You all feel we are wrong? I don't. I think we all deserve the right to be free and to take the medicine we need to help us relieve our lifestyles and pains, whether it be PTSD, tremors, stomach aches, whatever. If you know it's your medicine, you deserve the right to use it. It's just, to me, it's just really sad that people are dying and people have to fight for it. If you cannot have access to your medicine, what are you going to do? You fight just to be told you're going to die? It's not right. You know, we have the access. We need to make it right for everybody. So I'm going to wrap it up, make it real kind of quick and simple. Medical, social, recreational, whatever it is, you all have the right to choose if you need it or not. And on that note, let's get ready for this great march.
Cannabis, ganja, marijuana. Educate to medicate and recreation. No medicine can do nothing quite like this. So please give me my cannabis. You see, I smoke the kind of weed that you see in your dreams, straight out of High Times when you should see this green. CBDs, LNNs, and that THC. And you best not forget about that THCV. Yes, these are the things that your body may need to help get rid of your pain or maybe cure your disease. So sit back with the sack of the finest trees, rolling up and give your body what you know it needs. Cannabis, ganja, marijuana. Educate to medicate and recreation. Medicine can do nothing quite like this. So please give me my cannabis. Ganja, marijuana. Educate to medicate and recreation. No medicine can do nothing quite like this. So please give me my cannabis. You know I hit that green carpet with all the pot stars at the Hot Tubs Cannabis Cup. And do you know where you are? Smoking with my friend LK in that VIP. And it's time for all dabs. I guess I'll take 2 or 3. Yes, and then we'll smoke that J and pass along those edibles. Have you seen this place, man? This shit is so incredible. Just think about it. Weed as far as the eye can see. So come on and legalize and give the people what they need. Cannabis, ganja, marijuana. Educate to medicate and recreation. No medicine can do nothing quite like this. So please give me my cannabis. ganja, marijuana. Educate to medicate and recreation. No medicine can do nothing quite like this. So please give me my cannabis.
I'm here to talk just a little bit about the hemp stock. We've been denied the permit to put on hemp stock this year, some of you probably know. So we asked the court to review the decision-making process of the Park Service. It sounds to me like hearing Madeline here today, hearing her say, don't smoke marijuana, put your joint down. That doesn't sound like the Madeline I know. It sounds to me like her free speech rights have been tampered with, just like Paul Stanford's were. We're told what to say from the stage now by the city. But we filed a suit for a writ of review, and we argued it last week, had a little flurry of brief writing after that. We should get a decision next week whether there will be a hemp stock 2015 or not. But the reason it was denied is because some people smoked marijuana down on the waterfront. So that's probably why Madeline is having to warn you guys, the city can crack down on us anytime. Free speech in the state of Oregon, however, we have a constitutional amendment, a constitutional provision. It's not even an amendment. And there's a similar case under the federal law out of Ferguson. It seemed that the police officers in Ferguson were telling people to move along, move along, move along, keep moving. You can't stand here and talk about the shootings. You can't talk about government. You can't talk about anything. Just keep moving, keep moving. So they sued in federal court, and just quite recently, last year, the federal court said, no, you can't make people just keep moving along. The reason is it doesn't work. It's not narrowly tailored to solve your problems. It just stops them talking, and you can't stop people from saying what they want to say. I'm hoping that that's the same result we'll have next week, and that we'll all be volunteering and planning for hemp stock. Meanwhile, keep speaking, because that's what got us here. Thank you all.
I'm from Washington State. I know we're in Oregon right now, but some people from Vancouver might be visiting today. If you know anybody in Washington, tell them we did legalize recreational, but the lawmakers in Washington think that means that we no longer need to be allowed to grow 15 plants. I think that's ridiculous. The lawmakers are acting like children. I'm ashamed to be a Washingtonian now that this law is on the books. The fact that our governor signed this law onto the books makes me ashamed to be a Washingtonian. So look for R76. This will undo what the governor just did, and it will maintain medical marijuana in Washington State the way it is. It will let us keep growing 15 plants. It will allow the farmers markets to keep happening and providing the highest quality, most affordable medicine to patients who need it. Tell your friends about real legalization in Washington State. We need volunteers to help with the R76 referendum. Thank you.
I was so happy that I got my medical card. Now I don't need one. Now I don't need one. So I'm gonna tell y'all why we enjoy that beautiful plan. I smoke to help alleviate my pain. I smoke to open up my super brain. I smoke to help me manage my life's problems. I smoke to contemplate on how to solve them. I smoke to now I see the rising sun. I smoke and give my thanks to number one. I smoke, prepare for my day ahead. I smoke, let him take me from here. Fire up the ganja. Take a little toke now, take a little toke. Fire up the ganja. Breathe out the smoke now, breathe out the smoke. Fire up the ganja. Feel it now working, feel it now working. ganja. Pain go away like abracadabra. Me love the side effects, munchies and laughter. But my migraine ain't no laughing matter. Vicodin don't work for me. Make my head feel too dizzy. And NyQuil don't help me sleep. All I need is a puff of the good green tree. I smoke to help alleviate my pain. I smoke to open up my super brain. I smoke to help me manage my life's problems. I smoke to contemplate on how to solve them. I smoke soon as I see the rising sun. I smoke and give my thanks to number one. I smoke prepare for my day ahead. I smoke to him take me from here. Fire up the ganja. Say what? Say what? Take a little toke now. Take a little toke. Fire up the ganja. Breathe out the smoke now. Breathe out the smoke. Fire up the ganja. Feel it now working. Feel it now working. Fire up the ganja. No more hurting now. No more hurting now. Miss Mary Jane, she's so relaxing. She's my prescription. She grows on branches. She helps me deal with the aches and the pain. And she takes all the stress far away from the brain. No pharmaceuticals, goes back, not taking it. Super silver hazing it. Yeah, he great aping it. Giving it to hold me down. No, I'm erasing it. And when Mary's with me, she's erasing it. That's why I smoke to help alleviate my pain. I smoke to open up my super brain. I smoke to help me manage my life problems. I smoke to contemplate on how to solve them. I smoke as I see the rising sun. I smoke, give my thanks to number one. I smoke, prepare for my day ahead. I smoke to him take me from here. Fire up the ganja. Everybody, take a little toke now. Take a little toke. Fire up the ganja. Breathe out the smoke. Breathe out the smoke. Fire up the ganja. Feel it now working. Feel it now working. No more hurting now. No more hurting now. Ladies and gentlemen, on guitar, courtesy of my man Justin, make some noise for Mr. Raynell Hall, y'all. In town from Los Angeles. Give it to him, Rock now. Come on to the stage, Justin. Rabbit hole edibles. Rabbit hole edibles. Yes. Hey, y'all. Last time I saw this guy, he needed a wheelchair to get around. He's now walking. This is my man Justin Bridges, y'all. Justin James, a.k.a. the Mad Dabber, baby. He told me a little bit ago, he said, man, I haven't done any pharmaceuticals in 2 years. It's all been massage therapy and cannabis. And cannabis. And cannabis. And cannabis. Massage therapy and cannabis. And cannabis. And cannabis. Massage therapy and cannabis. And cannabis. And cannabis. It was massage therapy and cannabis. Tell them about it, Justin. How they do it, man?
That's right, took a little bit of cannabis and then you see, it makes me what? Yes, it opened up my mind and then I'm free of the chair and I'm walking again. And yes, I sit back and yes, I'm just grinning with friends. And yes, we wrecking, flipping, going off and gonna be spitting it. We always coming through and yes, we always gonna be hitting it. And yes, I pass it to the left and maybe to the right. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, yes, I'm dabbing it all night. But and yes, we having our fun. We gon' keep on coming through and yes, we joined under the sun to just show what? Yes, we all being blessed by this one plant that we all love, never rest. Now hold up, and this war was not over until all our prisoners out of jail. And yes, you know what, soldier, that's right, it's time to what? Yes, free everybody, cause we need a little weed and we keep it going, Massage therapy and cannabis, and cannabis, and cannabis, massage therapy and cannabis, and cannabis, and cannabis, massage therapy and cannabis, and cannabis, and cannabis, massage therapy and cannabis, and cannabis, and cannabis. Yo, Justin. Y'all give it up for Justin James. We love you, man. Thank you, brother. He let us use the guitar so our show would roll cool. Thank you for that, too, bro. Congratulations. We're going to tell your story worldwide, brother. Promise you that. LK, I love you, LK. What I love you, LK. In the building. Yeah, baby. Yes. Lori Duckworth, I love you, baby. TAC Foundation in the building. What's up, y'all? Yes.
Keith and Christy, man, I know y'all not here, but I love you. My guy had a heart attack in California. He on the Oregon Cannabis Connection newspaper, man. Y'all need to pick that up. It got all the latest details on what's happening in your cannabis community, man.
That's what's up. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today on this beautiful day.
We in Portland's living room, y'all.
Want to thank you all for watching. Tune in next week and help us restore hemp. Good night.